Welcome, everybody. It is Run Pure Sports Golf Wars show, and I am not JBC. This is Statsational here along with Third Schlong and Schneider. A little emergency for JBC. Everything's okay, though, and I'll be filling in tonight. So we've got Pebble Beach, the Pro-Am this weekend. Some changes that we're going to get to, but first let me throw it to Schneider. How you doing tonight, bud?
Doing pretty good. Had the winner last week, got her up. That was kind of a wild come from behind win from him, whereas he was leading after day one. And actually, it was one of the first events I've had a lot of guys up top. I tailed Mark's bets of Hideki and Siwoo, and then had got her up as well. So it was fun to get that win off the books there. But looking forward to this week. We got back-to-back elevated events, shorter fields, no-cut events, at a couple of fun golf courses.
I like this revamp.
So go ahead. I'm sorry, Bryce. Go for it.
No, you're good. I like this revamp a lot. It used to be one of my least favorite tournaments of the year. So, yeah, for those who don't know, I'm sure Stats can explain this here, but went from course rotation with a cut, and it was just like a complete slog of a tournament, to elevated event, no cut, and you get 3 rounds of Pebble. So I think it opens up a lot more builds, like just because you're getting 4 rounds from everyone. So I think you can play it a little different this week than the previous weeks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be both of these courses. I was talking to Schneider. I know fairly well. I've played here about 10 to 12 times. There's a great tournament that they host right before Christmas that I go to with my buddies and my dad every year. Have not done it in the last few years, but did it many, many times. So it's a great event, and I know some of the people there, and I know they were kind of struggling with the fact that ratings had been down in recent years, and they were trying to figure out ways to of course boost it. So I guess maybe they're thinking actually just showing the pro golfers and not showing Bill Murray acting like an idiot, or George Lopez or whoever else they get at this event. Maybe it's kind of lost a little bit of its luster with the amateurs, and then maybe we're just going to get some pro golf, which will be fun because it is aesthetically, at least, Pebble Beach. You get that on Saturday and Sunday, maybe one of the nicest golf courses really on the planet. There's no nicer real estate than that 17-mile drive over in Carmel and Monterey. And if you have not been out that way to that part of the country, I strongly suggest at least just taking a tour and driving that 17-mile drive. But yeah, this week the weather looks good as well, which is always key at Pebble Beach. Small greens, you got the POA greens as well. They're tiny. I think if they're not the smallest on the tour, I think they're right there with at least at Pebble Beach being some of the smallest on the tour. They're not long golf courses. Spy plays a little longer than maybe the 7,000 yards that's on the card, but still, for these guys, not a particularly long golf course. So it's more about precision. And really the only defense that Pebble Beach has is wind. So we're not going to get all that much wind. It looks like maybe in the afternoons on Thursday and Friday we'll have a little bit more wind than the morning sessions. But again, you're not dealing with a ton of golfers. I know we got the Pro-Am the first 2 days, so it will be a little bit slower, but we're not the tee times aren't as spread out as maybe a traditional tournament and the traditional Pebble Beach event would be either. So a lot of these guys are going to be playing under similar conditions. So I don't think we're going to have too much of a weather issue. Maybe Sunday, but that's not something that we really have to worry about as far as DFS goes. So yeah, I mean, as always, and it seems like this guy plays every week, we got to first talk about Scotty. I was given specific instructions, Bryce, to let you know that JBC likes Scotty and he assumes you will not. And he said, don't let Bryce push you around on this one. I'm taking Scotty in the event. Now, the advantage here when you take a guy like Scotty in an event like this is the fact that we're going to get all 4 rounds from him. Not that he ever misses any cuts, but you get a situation like even last week, he just comes on strong late and all of a sudden becomes a factor. I think he's going to probably have to do more than he did last week, and he was pretty close last week. Then he's going to have to do even more than that to make it into DFS winning lineups, but certainly capable with these odds. Again, just extremely short price. Rory is the second choice, a distant second. So, Bryce, what do you think? doesn't look like you're going to have Scotty in your core lineup. What do you think about Scotty? And then we'll get into the rest of the high price guys.
I'll come around on Scotty a bit here just because it's a no cut. So like, I think even if he doesn't win, he could still be in the optimal. So I have him like mid-20s. I think that'll be under. I'm expecting Scotty to come in pretty high at a no cut. So yeah, I'm under on him. I mean, it takes a lot to be over on him. You have to sacrifice a lot of this other like 9K range type of stuff. I mean, I think Rory's a good play here, but you know, it's hard to get over on him and Scotty. I think it's literally impossible unless you just completely cut everything else. So I'm about 15% on Rory. I think that'll be slightly over. So I think it's kind of them two and then everyone else, obviously. Yeah, I mean, 14K is still prohibitive, but you know, with it being an elevated event, you have higher quality golfers that are cheap and it's a no cut. So I think it makes Scotty much more viable, at least to me, than like last week.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as well. Snyder, what are we doing here with Scotty?
Yeah, I'm a little more open to playing him this week. Last week, I didn't play much at all of him. I projected him 17 points higher, and then I ran it and only got like 3% of him last week. So I'll probably get more this week. I do think there's more chances. They lowered his price $500, which is definitely going to help. And then you get the guaranteed 4 rounds this week, as last week we weren't getting that. You're still going to need some of these dust balls to finish pretty high, though. I think some of those guys below 7K. There are some better names, cheaper values this week. I think there's some guys mispriced down there, which will definitely help get to Scotty. So I think I'm probably going to be around 15 to 20% Scotty. I project him probably coming in around 35% owned this week. I think he'll probably be closer to 35% this week, as everybody's seen him make that charge last weekend after the rough first round. But I think there's a lot of leverage there with Rory, Rory played well overseas at the Dubai Invitational back mid-January, about a month ago. Finished T3 over there, and Rory won this event last year. And I think the weather is going to be pretty much as similar as that as this year. Rory I think he was like minus 21, minus 22 when he won last year. I think he'll give that another run this year. It was interesting. I was surprised to see Rory hit so many drivers last year. I think he was second or third in driving distance on the tournament. And usually we see golfers kind of club down. But if there's no wind here, Rory's got those sight lines. He can take dead aim at some of these spots that a lot of people can't. I think that's a huge advantage to Rory on some of these holes where guys will be laying up, and he's able to kind of swing freely, hit more drivers than a lot of more golfers will be able to. Scotty's right there too with the distance off the tee, but the driver is Rory's main weapon, and I think that's kind of been a down talk of him at Pebble before. As if the winds are up, you can't really take that driver out as aggressively as you want to. He did make eagle, I seen on the practice day. It's one of those days where the wind was blowing 35, 40 mile an hour. Rory takes driver. I can't remember what hole it was, maybe 18 or something. Took dead aim, hit the fairway, then hit like a low burner into the green, made like a 20-footer for eagle. But I think Rory is a really good leverage play. I think he'll probably be somewhere around 15% this week. So I like Rory quite a bit for tournaments.
Yeah, definitely some leverage. Yeah, Rory is not exactly the traditional Northern Irish player. He hits about the highest ball on the tour, which doesn't play well at Pebble Beach when the winds are gusting 30, 40 miles an hour. But in these conditions, it's ideal if it's going to be as calm as it looks. And obviously, he's very good with the short irons, which are a key here at Pebble Beach. It's going to be key on the one round that they play at Spyglass as well. Driver at Spyglass will be even more important. So we'll see how Rory plays it. But yeah, let's talk about the two guys here that are above the 10K mark here. We mentioned Rory. We got one other guy here, Tommy Fleetwood, probably going to be the lowest owned maybe of this trio. I agree with you here. I think it's a 35 to 40% on Scotty. I think we're looking at 15 to 20 on Rory. And I think maybe somewhere in the 13 to 15% range on Fleetwood. So what do we think about Fleetwood? Is that a good another good play to kind of get off maybe the top two guys here? What do you think? I'll go to you, Snyder, on them.
I think I'm going to be under on Tommy coming into this year. Hasn't looked as sharp in the couple events he played overseas recently in January. A 25th and then a T41 over there. 10-2 for Fleetwood when I got Rory, Scotty right there. And then there's some guys I like cheaper than him, I think a little better. So I'll probably be not getting any leverage on him. Probably will be under on Tommy as well, probably in this event.
Bryce, what are we thinking Tommy Fleetwood here? Third choice as far as the salary goes at 10-2 on DraftKings. What are we doing with him? Do you like him perhaps more than Rory?
No, I prefer Rory. Fleetwood and Hovland, I think I'm both around 8% on. Just not really. I would rather get up or get down. There's a lot of guys I like in this 9K range here that we'll get to. So not really my two guys. I'd probably cut them in 20 max, to be honest, and just kind of, be able to get the top two golfers, and then some of these 9K guys we'll talk about. Yeah,
I mean, you look at the odds. I like to look at some of the offshore stuff and Pinnacle, one of the sharper books, and Fleetwood at the plus 2,700 kind of fits in with these guys at the 9K in the 9K range. Some of these guys are even shorter odds, like a Siwoo Kim down here at the 9,800 is only plus 2,200 in the market. So I've got a feeling maybe you guys like those guys a little bit better. But we've got down in the 9K range. You've got Hovland, Kim, Hideki, who obviously played well and then collapsed there last week, but played well. He didn't exactly drive the ball well, and that was sort of the downfall for him. But you had Justin Rose a couple of weeks ago, who won a tournament this year. You got Henley, Schauffele, who was not all particularly great last week, and then got her up the guy who won it last week's tournament. So we'll see here. We've got a pretty good group here at the 9K range. It's kind of the group, I think you guys said it earlier, if we're not going to take Scotty, then this is going to be a popular group to choose from. If you're taking Scotty, it's going to be really tough to fit one of these guys in with him. So Bryce, when we get to 9K here, we've got some pretty good golfers, I think, and the markets are telling us that. What do you like here the most at the 9K range?
Siwoo for me. I think he's, and I want guys who can, obviously all these guys can make birdies, but it's kind of what Siwoo's known for. He's a great DraftKings scorer. He has great odds on Penny. I think he's a great anchor for teams. So I want to be over on him. He is my highest owned golfer at slightly over 30%. So I like him a good amount. You can play him with Scotty. That's like the difference this week, because like there are playable guys in like the mid 6K range. So you can't really play Scotty and Rory together. And I wouldn't, just because like those teams are all going to be duped. But this is the range where you can start playing players with Scotty. So I like Siwoo. Hideki, I think is solid, not great. Rose is a guy I think not a lot of people are going to be on, but he has pretty much the same odds as everyone else in this range. So I kind of want to be over on Justin Rose here. Don't really like him on the site not to be named. He's like the third most expensive golfer there. So someone had brought that up in chat. After them, Henley I think is solid, but I would much rather play Xander and Goddard. Those are my other two guys in this range that I like a lot. Goddard's just playing great golf right now, and yeah, I like him a good amount. Xander, I hope that people won't take, because I'm not quite as negative on his game as some people are. I think he's kind of close. He has not been playing well recently, so hopefully people are down on him and I get some positive leverage there. I'm expecting him to come in below his projected ownership of 19%. So I think he comes in closer to 15. So I'm around 20 on him.
All right. Yeah. Someone was asking about Siwoo in the win. He is a strong wind player, Siwoo Kim, but we'll see how much wind, if that is a factor. It could be a factor come Sunday. We'll see. But Snyder, what are we thinking here? 9K and above. What's your strategy? Are you with Bryce? Seems like a lot of people are going to like the Siwoo Kim here. Just these guys are kind of bunched up in the betting markets outside of Siwoo Kim. He's really the third choice in the betting markets, and he's the fifth or sixth choice here, fifth choice, I guess, when you look at it from a salary standpoint.
Yeah, I think Siwoo is a great option. His game has just really been on a skyrocket since January. I mean, he's went T11, T6, T2, T3. I mean, he's relatively on that same ascend as Scotty kind of right now. His game's just really good. He's got good course history here, top 15 in his last 2 trips here. I think Siwoo is a really good play, and he's going to see the ownership for it. My favorite play in this range is probably Henley at 9,200. His odds on Pinnacle have moved about 11, 12 points in the last day and a half since they opened their odds. He's down to right now he's at plus 28.62 I'm seeing, and he opened at plus 39.22. So pretty good move for Henley over there. The course just sets up really well for him. It was T5 here last year, just a perfect setup for him. He's not as long off the tee, so accurate though. He's going to hit greens and fairways and give himself a lot of birdie opportunities here this week. So pretty high on Henley. I also like Justin Rose quite a bit. Rose is going to be my one and done play for this week. He's got debatably the best course history of anyone, especially the last 3 years at this course. He's went T3, T11, and then he won here back in 2023. And he's coming off of a win where he won as the Farmers there at Torrey. So everything, all the momentum's going his way. Played great that week. So I'll be over on Justin Rose as well. I'm interested to see where his ownership is really going to come in at, because I think we're going to see him kind of almost get squeezed a little bit with Henley right below him, Goddard's below him, and you got Siwoo, and then the expensive guys above him. So I think we could see a Rose come in somewhere like 15 to 17% or something like that. So I'll be higher on that on Rose. And then I do like how Xander played in his final round. He finally gained strokes across the board in that final round after just purging strokes with the short game those first 3 rounds. Played a lot better Sunday, so maybe he found something in the game there Sunday. We're probably, if he did find something, this is going to be the cheapest price we're going to see on Xander probably this whole year. So definitely worth the leverage there. I think he'll be somewhere around 10, 12%, I think, for him. Somewhere around there, I think, is where he'll come in at the low teens, at least for sure. So Xander's great. And then my guy, Chris Goddard, I've played him every round since back midsummer last year. So I'm going to keep going to the well with him. Already has 2 wins on the year. Backed it up with a T18 at the Farmers. Coming off another win here. And I think without as much wind, I mean, it doesn't really matter with Goddard with the wind. I mean, he's from Oklahoma. He's used to playing in the wind if that does come up. So none of that really affects me with him. I think he's still underpriced. I think Goddard should be priced for like close to where Havlin is. I think you can make a case. I mean, his odds are right up there as well. He's seen a little bit of action to him. He's under 30 to 1 now. He's right next to Henley and Fleetwood, right in that range there, plus 2,700, plus 2,900, somewhere around there. So Goddard's definitely going to be in the pool for me. I'm going to go Henley 1, Goddard 2, Rose 3, and then Xander's right there as well for me for my top guys in this range.
Yeah, I think, looking at it, I kind of like what Bryce was saying there as far as Xander goes. That could be the leverage play, I think. Xander, I think you might have said it, Snyder, where this will be the lowest we might see him here as far as price goes at 9,100 this week. I mean, he is a good putter on the Poe greens. I mean, you can't be shocked if he goes out and wins this tournament, right? I mean, a guy of his caliber, and I think you're getting him at probably lower ownership maybe than we would, at a lower price than we normally would. He normally in this field. I mean, in any field, he's going to be one of the 3 or 4 highest salaried guys. So I've got a feeling maybe Schauffele becomes the high leverage point, the high leverage play. Someone was mentioning maybe there's some risk here for Hideki to WD. We'll see, but he will probably. I think Decky, at least going on in it right now, is going to probably be the lowest owned in this grouping right here. With I think Henley, I think Goddard. I don't know. I might not be as high on Goddard, but I think with the wind down, I'm higher. I know he's an Oklahoma guy, but I would trust him more here with the wind down. But I think we're going to see probably Henley and then and Siwoo with Hovland. I think those are your 3 biggest owned or highest owned guys here in this grouping. So let's head it down to the 8K and up range. Still got some pretty good golfers here in this one. We've got starting at the 8,900. You got Cantlay, you've got McNeely, Fitzpatrick, Dior Bjornsson, Day, Griffin, Abe. All right, how does he pronounce it? I always get it wrong. Ludwig. It's Aberg or Aberg. I say Aberg and it's wrong, but I always forget how it's actually pronounced. But McIntyre, Young, Burns, and Daniel Berger round out the 8K range. A couple of guys in here. Day looks like he's going to probably get a decent amount of ownership. Probably Fitzpatrick as well. A few of these other guys, I think we're going to get a lot of double digit up into the upper teens maybe on quite a few of these guys. So I'll head it over to you, Snyder. What are we thinking here in the 8K range? This is where we're going to have to probably make a lot of hay here if we've got any of those guys in the 10K and above.
Yeah, for sure. I'm undecided right now how much I'm going to play at Cantlay, but he's the guy that could definitely tilt the shit out of me if I don't play enough of him, and he's up there. Usually plays well in California here. Didn't play good at the Farmers. He missed a cut there. It was T13 at the Amex. Maybe you guys can sell me one way or not on Cantlay, whether I should play a lot of him or just kind of field him or get off him. But Mav, definitely going to play some Mav here. He's playing some great golf to begin the year. I think he's been playing this course since they allowed whatever the youngest age is to play this course. That's when Mav started playing this course. So he's definitely familiar with this place. Home game for him. Doesn't have the best course history here, event history here. He has a second back in 2021. But over the last few years, just a lot of middling finishes here for him. But I think his game is definitely on another level this year, ending last year into this year. So I like Mav under 9K. Theor Bornson, I think he's going to come in really low owned. I mean, people seem to be shocked with that price tag, but I think he's another one of these younger guys that his game is just quickly ascending very, very fastly. We saw in the fall, and then T18 at the Farmers, and then T3 last week. He made a heck of a charge there on Sunday, made that eagle late. I thought he was going to be right there to win the event. Made bogey the next hole after that and kind of got out of there after that. But he was right there on Sunday, making a run. He was a favorite at one point. Right after he made that eagle, he was minus 140, I think, in the betting markets live there. So I definitely like Thor. I mean, he's hitting 78% of his greens in regulation last 36 rounds. So he's got that iron game just absolutely dialed in right now, gaining over a stroke tee to green. Jason Day is going to be a trendy name here, 8-5, good course history. Course just sets up really well for him. Didn't play the best at the Farmers, but he was T2 at the Amex, so I think he's a pretty strong option. I'm going to continue to be under on Ben Griffin. The game just does not look where it was last year. 3 middling finishes, and he's gotten worse in every start this year. T19, T24, and then T28 last week. I think he's fine, but I'll probably be under on him. Same with Ludwig. I'm going to wait and see on him. Back-to-back, no miscut and then a WD. So I'll probably be a little under on him. I don't think he's going to see much ownership, though. I expect to see him somewhere around that 8 to 10% range. Under on Bobby Mack. I'll play some Cam Young just for the upside. And I think Danny Berger is a pretty strong play. He's getting some love in the betting markets as well. T16, last week at the Phoenix. Kind of a quiet T16 for him, too. We didn't really see much from him in the coverage. I didn't see at least as much. Then he had that really good start to the year at Sony, was T6. Does have a win here. Hasn't played here in a few years, but back in 2021, the last time he played here, he did win this event. So I like Berger quite a bit at 8K.
Yeah, we've got a lot of these guys pretty similar prices as far as the betting market goes. The one real outlier to the downside is Sam Burns here, and he's probably going to be the least owned of this group. What do you think here, Bryce, in the 8K range? Anyone stand out to you, either good or bad?
Yeah. We'll start it off here with the Cantlay discussion. I'm not really in on Cantlay this week. He's kind of has to show to me for me to start playing him. Don't necessarily like him that much. Mav, I do. I'm just worried that he might get steamed a bit here. With all the connections he has to the course, it's not like that's not. People know that. So I think that people might just click him in a little bit more. So I'm gonna be around the high teens on Mav, and that should be around the field. Hopefully a bit over, because I do like Mav here. Fitz, I think, is an okay play. I'd like him a little bit more if it was like windy, just because he's a good wind player. But I have him about 10%. So if this 15% number is under or correct, I'm going to be under on him. Thorpe and Day. I think I'd rather play Thorpe, but I don't particularly like either of them. I think I'm selling this 8K range kind of as a whole, because you get some really quality golfers down here in the 7s. And if you do want to play the expensive guys, as I do, it's a little bit harder to get to. Ben Griffin, I think, is okay. I don't think his game's quite where he wants it to be right now. But if he comes in at 18%, I'm going to be significantly under that, probably about half the field there. I think every single one of these golfers besides Cameron Young has a negative leverage score for me in SaberSim. So that just kind of shows you what I'm saying about the 8K range. Ludwig, I don't think he's right now. I still played him a little bit because you're getting him for 8,300, but not someone I would play in like 20 max, or I think he would be an easy cut. Bobby Mack, I do kind of like him. I have him around 15%. Depends on the ownership projections here. I could see him coming in a little bit lower owned than that, just because I think Cam Young is going to soak up a lot of ownership here, and I do like Cam Young at 8,100. I think it's way too cheap for him. He's projected at 24% in the flagship, and that kind of seems about right to me. So I'm going to be slightly under the field, even though I do like him. I don't think I like him quite that much to get to, over 25 is a pretty big play. So I'm right around 20% on him. And then Sam Burns, I think, is one of the worst plays here. I think everyone around him here is a better play. So I don't really like Sam Burns at all.
I think
Daniel Berger is 8K. I thought he was under 8K. I do like Daniel Berger. He has really strong odds on Penny here, and if his game is coming around, I think that he gets super sandwiched between, like, not to get out of the range here, but like Bobby Mack, Cameron Young going to be high owned, and then I'm expecting like Jake Knapp to be high owned as well. So I could definitely see Boog getting squeezed here. I like him a good amount.
Yeah, I mean, Berger obviously some good history, right? I think he won this tournament 2021, something like that. So
yeah,
he's never finished outside of the top 10 in this event in the 3 trips he's been here.
Yeah, and he's another guy really good with these type of greens, with the POA greens. So no doubt in play. I put a bet in plus 3,300 Cam Young, and I think he's a really good GPP play, because he's just it's kind of going to be an up and down with it. You don't love the accuracy or the lack thereof, maybe at times from Young on a course like this, but I think certainly, obviously, you can and hit it a long ways and kind of overpower this place if the weather is the way we think it is. So I kind of like these guys. I think the long hitters have a much bigger advantage when the wind is down at a place like Pebble. So I like Cam Young a lot here as far as DFS and in the betting markets. Yeah, I don't know as far as Cam Young's ownership. I was thinking kind of the low teens. It sounds like, Bryce, maybe you think he's going to get a little bit more ownership than that.
Yeah, I do. I mean, people just love playing Cameron Young now. We have him projected at 13%. Saber has him projected 24. Maybe he comes in somewhere in the middle there, but I would probably take the under on 24 and the over on 13. So
okay.
I'd probably put it pretty much right. I have him at 19%. I'd probably put that as a pretty solid over under for it. My boy Latner, Spurs suck. Tottenham's awful. We fired our coach today. Ownership projections on Cantlay. I mean, I think he comes in super low here. I think 10% is probably a decent over under, maybe like 9, because I'd probably take the under on 10. So
you think Cantlay's a single digit guy here?
I think he could be single digits here.
And then
I don't really think anyone's excited to play Cantlay this week.
I think we get I think McNeely's definitely interesting. It just screams that it's going to be the ownership's going to be a little higher than maybe it should be, just for the sheer fact that like you said, everyone kind of knows the situation. They know this is his home course. He's a Monterey guy. He's played here a million times. And perhaps, sometimes that plays against you when, you've got a lot of local obligations. You've got a lot of people there, and being at home sometimes doesn't always play well. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of people that he's got to take care of, and dinners and everything else. So who knows? But yeah, if that ownership gets a little bit elevated, I'm thinking like it probably normally would be maybe like 15%, something like that. Do you think it gets much higher than that for McNeely?
I think he could steam a bit here, but yeah, I have him at 15% owned. I'd love to be over him. I think he kind of gets steamed a bit.
I think he'll be somewhere around there.
That's right. We've got a. Did we get to Nap yet? Or Nap's coming up. So we'll talk about Nap. I saw we had a question on that. We'll get to him in a second here in the 7K range. But actually, what we'll look at here is from 7,500 up. Let's take a look at those guys. We got maybe 10 or so guys in that range. Nap being the top of that list at 7,900. You got Lowry, Spawn, Morikawa, English, Straka, Pearson, Cootie, Ricky Fowler, Ryan Gerard, and Harry Hall. Also, Keegan Bradley, the captain, rounding out the guys at 7,500 and above. Bryce, not as strong a group maybe as this 8K group, although maybe you weren't all that excited about these guys in the 8K. I think Knapp probably goes highest owned here. Lowry's going to get some ownership as well. I think Straka gets some attention. Let's start it off with Jake Knapp, probably the highest owned of this group. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Knapp will come in super high owned. I mean, just if you look at his odds, it's pretty easy to see like why people like him. I think his game fits any course here. He kind of does it. Like, he doesn't do anything great, but he does everything like pretty well. I don't really see any flaws. He also has one of the prettiest golf swings that you'll see. He's a very likable person as well. But that doesn't equate to DraftKings points. I do think he can make birdies in a hurry here. I'm about 25%. And he will be chalky, but I don't think he gets above 20% here. So I will be over on Knapp. Morikawa is off right now, but kind of like Xander, you're getting a huge discount on him. I'm kind of willing to take the bait here at a no cut if he's able to find it. Sorry, I skipped over Lowry here. Lowry, slight buy for me, it looks like. If he actually comes in single digit ownership, I'm going to be like 9% on him, so it's nothing massive. JJ Spawn, another guy, I don't think his game is not up to the standards it was last year, but I don't mind him here. looks like he's going to come in right around where I have him at 9%. So I don't mind that. Harris English, not a guy I love. I have him between 5 and 10% here. Seb Straka, I do like a decent amount. I kind of trying to target him a little bit. Ricky Fowler, don't necessarily love. Pearson Coody, I do like. And Ryan Gerard, I do like. I think it's the easiest cuts in the field if you do want to cut them are Keegan, Harry Hall, and Jordan Spieth. I just don't really like any of them. I mean, Harry Hall needs to putt well. I don't think he's going to putt well on POA out here. So not really people I want to buy. Yeah, my favorite golfer is Knapp in this range by a decent margin.
Yeah, I think he is going to be the guy that most people take in this range. He's a West Coast, does really well here on the West Coast. He's strong on the POA greens, as opposed to Lowry, who I think a lot of people think will get a similar type of ownership. Not nearly as strong on these type of greens. I like the kind of the trajectory of Knapp's game right now. If you look at his just strokes gained total, he's just kind of moving in the right direction for me. 2026 this year, everything's been going up each and every week. His moving average, if you look at it, just continues to rise. So he's definitely trending in the right direction. So I think Knapp definitely warrants a lot of the attention he's getting in the betting markets. 42. He's clearly the favorite of this group at plus 4,200 over on Pinnacle. So I'll send it over to you, Snyder. What do you think here in this 7,500 and up group? A few strong plays, it looks like.
Yeah, I think there's some really good plays in this. Like you guys mentioned, Knapp. Knapp's got better odds than the majority of the guys in the 8K range. He ranks number 1 strokes gained off the tee in this field. I think this course sets up really well for him as well. He's another one of those guys that can kind of maybe take a few more drivers than others in this course. And his approach play has really gotten a lot better. Every event he's played this year, his approach game has went upwards. And then last week, he kind of broke out with the irons last week. He gained over 4 strokes approach last week. Every single round he gained with the irons. The putter was a little missed last week. Gained, it was like 50-50 up and down all week, but he's generally a good putter. So I'll be pretty high on Jake Knapp. I think should be in the mid 8Ks for sure. 7,900 is a really good discount with the form. He's coming off of 3 strong events, 8th place at T5, and then he was T11 and Sony. So 3 straight T11s for under 8K for the quality of player like him. He's kind of like Thor. You could almost price him up near Thor. I think they're very, very much almost the similar types of talents and golfers, and they're right next to each other in the betting odds as well. It's Thorpe and then Knapp right behind him. So I like him quite a bit. I'll probably be a little under on Lowry. I think he's kind of going to get steamed up a little bit. It sounds like, from what people are saying, it was second here last year. He didn't play the best overseas at Dubai, at least T26 in his last start there. I'll continue to be under on JJ Spawn as well. Morikawa hasn't played the best. I didn't play much of him last week. I think I'm going to play a little bit more of him this week, though. I think with such small greens here, 3,500 square feet greens on average, that's really going to limit his 3-putting, and I think the bumpy greens will kind of mitigate his bad putting with the rest of the people that aren't going to be able to putt as pure on these greens. So I like Morikawa at 7,800. I'll be higher on him this week for sure, and he has back-to-back top 20s at this event as well. I think Sep's got really good upside. I'll have him in the pool. Harris English and Fowler are kind of just like pool plays, like Bryce said, maybe 5 to 6, 7% on them or something like that. I think they're fine to have in the pool just in case. And Fowler is playing better golf this year. 3 straight top 20s for him, or back-to-back top 20s for him this year. And Pearson Coody, I was kind of surprised to see him priced down here. I mean, there's so many guys in this field, though, with pretty good talents that some of these guys are definitely going to slip through the cracks. And Coody has been playing excellent golf. He was a soldier for us at the Farmers where he was T2. Just missed out on being one this week as he's priced up 100 above the minimum to be a soldier, but was T10 at the Waste Management last week as well. It's just been playing good. He's T18 or better in all 4 starts this year, so his game is really rounding into form. It just comes down to the putter with him. If he can get that putter to kind of come around, but like Morikawa, I think these greens can kind of mitigate his poor putting, whereas he's gaining almost 2 strokes tee to green. Cootie is through these last 36 rounds, so I really like his upside. And then Ryan Gerard, again, we got to keep going back to him. Another guy that's underpriced. He's hitting right at 70% of his fairways and 75% of his greens regulation, just doing it across the board. And another guy that's slightly losing putting last 36 rounds, but his approach game has been dialed in, gaining almost a full stroke approach last 36 rounds. So I think Gerard and Cootie are really strong plays down here. I'd rather play them much, much more over Keegan and Harry Hall, as Bryce alluded to there as well.
Yeah, the thing with Gerard is that's the guy I like quite a bit here is Gerard. And yes, the putting has been an issue, but he is really trending in the right direction. If you look at his putting here in 2026, look at his last 25 rounds, shot gain putting has been above the 0 line, which it tends to not be. So he's kind of trending, I think, in 2026. I don't know if he's made any changes to his putting, but I mean, I think his form right now, he's got a second in Sony. He was second at the Amex, T11 over at the Farmers. So I kind of like Gerard here. I don't know what we're going to get as far as ownership goes on him. Maybe something in the low teens. Where does Saber have him at, and what do we have?
10
on that.
We have him at 10.
About 10. Yeah, I think that could be a sneaky one here for that price. I think a guy who's really, I think, in really solid form, kind of a grinder. So I do like Gerard down here in this price range as well. All right, let's get it down to the lower half of the 7K range. We'll look at the guys from 7K up to 7,400. Pendrith, Taylor, Spieth, Kitayama, Theegala, Bhatia, Lee, Mitchell, Poston, Clark, Noren, Rye, Stevens, Higo, and Connors. It's not going to be anyone, I don't think, terribly high owned here in this range. We may perhaps, maybe Ashke gets into the double digits ownership, maybe the Gala, but I don't think we're going to have a tremendous amount of ownership here unless you guys disagree. Snyder, what do you think here in the lower half of the 7K range?
Yeah, I think there's one play that really jumps out to me in this lower 7K range. I think he's the best play price per dollar, potentially on the slate as well. We've seen Akshay's odds go from 84 to 1 down to 55 to 1 in the last day and a half over on Penny. I think he's a really strong play. Last week, he just kind of finally broke out, I think. He's been kind of searching for his game a little bit in the first 2 events this year at the MX and the Farmers, where he missed the cut there. Both of them were due to a really bad putter there at the Farmers. He lost almost 4 strokes putting that week. But I think he found something at some point leading up to this event, because he gained with the flat stick in all 4 rounds last week. The approach play was dialed in. He gained ball striking all 4 rounds. And then Sunday, he just blitzed all across the board. It was good for him. So I think Akshay's got some really strong momentum heading into here. 7,300. Good course setup for him as well. So I'll be pretty high on him. He was T22 here last year. So he has some familiarity with this event and it being an elevated event. So high on Akshay. I think he's the best play. And then I like Theegala some. The markets kind of went against him a little bit, but I think Theegala is still a really strong play at 7,300. Kurt Kitayama is a guy that made the Soldiers list this week, so I'm pretty high on Kitayama. I liked what I seen from him last week with the approach play, and the putter is finally coming around as well. His putter has bettered in his last 3 events to where he actually slightly gained putting last week. So that's huge with Kitayama, as his iron play is always dialed in. So I like Kitayama quite a bit there at 7,300 as well. Min-Woo Lee definitely has the upside. Was there for a little bit last week. Showed some flashes last week. I think he's a strong play. JT Poston had a horrible round 1 last week, battled through in round 2, got through the cut line, and then played all right on the weekend. I think Poston is a strong play this week as well. He just had that horrible round 1 where he lost 2 strokes approach, then lost another 2 strokes putting. So he was really behind the 8 ball, but battled back strong in his round 2 to make the cut, and then played well over the weekend as well to finish T35 when he was I think he was like 121st after the first round and battled strong. So I like Poston quite a bit. I think Noren's fine. He hasn't played the best in his first 2 starts this year, but his game should translate here pretty good. Aaron Rye could be a popular name down here at 7,100. And then Sam Stevens, this guy that's made the pool for me every week this year. Strong player. Has been up and down a little bit the last couple of weeks, only T35 and T30, but has a T17 in this event last year. So I think Stevens is, once again, a pretty strong, safe value play at 7K. The putter just needs to come around for him. He's lost strokes putting in the last 2 events. The last 2 rounds last week, actually, he lost 2 strokes putting in both of those. It was decent in round 1. So I think Stevens has the upside. Connors and Higo. I wasn't high on Connors last week. He generally hasn't played that well here either. T65 and T31 his last 2 trips, but 7K for the talent level of Corey Connors deserves to be in the player pool at least around the field. I think he's going to come in kind of lower owned as well, so I think he's a guy you can get over on pretty easily.
All right. Yeah, we got a few guys here that Mitch likes in this range. I think Kitayama could be very much a sleeper type of pick. Kind of a good GPP play for me. He's a West Coast, kind of a West Coast guy. He's done well on the West Coast, pole guy. Who else do you like here? Bryce down in the second half of the 7K range. Is this a range that we're going to be heavily involved in? It's if you are, it's probably going to be a little bit of leverage. I don't see a ton of ownership coming in down here.
Yeah, I love Akshay. As Snyder said, he's 55 to 1 on Penny, and he's projected to come in single digits. I think he might get steamed up from that. But currently, he's my highest leverage play. I have him about 25%. Big fan of Akshay this week. He can make birdies in bunches. Great for DraftKings scoring. Spieth, I don't really like. Nick Taylor is okay. Nothing I really want to invest heavily in. He is in my pool. Taylor Pendrith, I think, is okay. I have him single digits as well. Kitayama, I agree with Snyder on. I like him a good amount. He's in the high teens for me. Positive leverage there. Sigala, I just don't think he really has it right now. I didn't eliminate him from my pool as I did like Spieth, but not my cup of tea this week. Poston and Mitchell are all okay. They're just kind of pool plays for me. Minwoo Lee, I like a lot. I have him about 20%. I think he's a very solid play here. He's cheap. He helps you fit guys. Noren and Rye, I don't particularly like here. Just not. I don't think that people are going to withdraw from this event. I mean, you saw Rye withdraw from his last event. He has horrible odds. I just don't see any reason to play him. Clark Connors, I think Snyder summed it up pretty well. I don't necessarily think they're playing great golf or fit this course that well, but I'm willing to bet on talent level here for 7K. Sam Stevens comes in just around 10% for me, so should be about the field there. Higo, I don't really think this course is for him. I do disagree there. I'm not really going to be playing Higo this week.
Yeah, the Minwoo Lee, I think, is interesting. He's playing fairly well on the whole, but the thing with Minwoo Lee, it looks like his round 4 last week was just awful, right? And that's kind of what he gives you. He's very much up and down, kind of a GPP type of a guy. But who knows? We don't have a cut this week, and maybe we can get kind of 3 good rounds out of him, and one. I think last week was sort of a one mediocre round, 2 really good ones, and 1 real poor one. So Minwoo Lee, though, the betting markets seem to like quite a bit. I mean, if you look at the betting markets, it's Akshay, it's Kitayama, it's Minwoo in this range, and I guess Pendrith. Do you guys like Pendrith at all here? As far as where do you have him, Bryce? How much?
I touched on him. I have 9%.
About 9. Okay.
I think he's fine just based off his course history here. His recent form isn't the best, but he has back-to-back top 10s in the last 2 times he's played this event.
Yeah, I think he's just been kind of solid. I kind of like Pendrith here a little bit. And if the ownership's going to be low, that's another guy I think you maybe want to get over with. I just get the feeling like this is a range where you might have to win. It might be 2 or 3 guys even down here that win it for you. Probably 2. Certainly depending on what you're going to do at the top end. But let's kind of group the rest of these guys in one. We don't have to go over each and every one of them, but kind of let's pick out the plays that you really like here. Maybe you got 3, 4, 5 guys that you really like sub 7K. You're going to need them. Certainly if you're playing Scotty, we're going to need a few of these guys. So I'm going to throw it to you, Bryce, first. If you are doing the Scotty lineups, I mean, who do we have to have here sub 7K to go with Scotty and make it work?
Guys, I like down here, and this range is a lot stronger than you would normally see for what's it called? Got crazy sirens going on outside. It's a lot stronger than you would normally see here in general for sorry. Mateo's coming nuts too. No, you're good. It's way stronger than you would see for like a normal tournament. Just because with the elevated event and the way the pricing structure works. So I'm going to be buyers on a decent amount of guys down here. Not going to spend tons of time on it because I don't think that there's any one guy that really separates from others. But guys, I project to be over on are Jacob Bridgman. Matthew McCarty is my favorite one. Hisatune, Grazerman, Denny, Rico Hoey, Steven Yeager, Michael Kim, I project to be pretty over on. I have him and McCarty in double digits and all these other guys in single digits. Alex Smalley, Patrick Rogers, and then there's only 2 other guys I've left in my pool, Max McGreevy and Sammy Valmaki.
Yeah, it sounds like quite a few of the guys that I like down at this level as well that you like. Kim, I mean, you look at the betting markets here. Bridgman, Kim seem to be the class along with McCarty. I'll send it over to you here, Schneider. Give me the guys that you feel like you kind of have to play, 4 or 5 guys down at this range.
Yeah, I think Bridgman's the best play down here. He'll be my highest owned golfer under 7K. Was a soldier last week, finished T18 off the T13 at the MX and T4 at Sony. So he's playing some really strong golf. And with Bridgman, we've seen, like I hinted on last week, once Bridgman kind of gets going, he typically carries that over for 4 or 5 events in a row. So really like Bridgman to kind of carry the momentum as they're staying there on the West Coast. So I think he's a strong play. I really like the birdie upside of Matt McCarty. We played him a ton in the fall. And then earlier, he was T2 at the Amex and then T18 at the Farmers. Had a really off round last week. Like one day he putted horribly, then the next day his irons were horrible and he putted well. So it's kind of a weird one-off. I'll give him a pass there at 6,900. I think he's still a really good play. For the birdie upside, I think Max Racerman's fine. I mean, his recent history is horrible, but he's getting 4 rounds and he's got the upside. As we've seen him start out really strong on day 1 and then miss the cut. So, I mean, you're definitely going to get that with him. But for the birdie upside, I think he's fine to have in the pool. Rico Hoey had a strong finish last week. I think he's fine here. And then I think Michael Kim will be one of the highest owned guys, sub 7K. He's kind of getting talked up around the industry, shorter off the tee. Really good putter. So I think his game kind of fits well here. Hasn't played here in a couple years, but in 2023 when he did, his last trip here was a T11. So I think Michael Kim is a relatively pretty strong play. Hoagie has really good form at this event. The recent form isn't there, though, off the miscut in T70 his last 2. But he plays this course really well. This course sets up really well for his game type as well. So Hoagie will be a guy that I have in the pool. And then I think that's about it. I mean, Brian Harman's game should set up pretty well for here, but he's just never really played well here, and his form isn't the best either. So I'll probably be under off of Harman. I think that's about it. I don't want to play any of these other guys really like actively trying to. So I think it's Bridgman, McCarty, and Michael Kim are my top 3 plays.
It's funny down here. I just see there's a lot of steadiness down here. So I think it kind of does pair well with Scotty. So when I look down here, there's a lot of guys that I think you could kind of play with Scotty, and that'll give you solid, solid point totals here. I really like Matthew McCarty this week, sub 7K. That's a guy I would have in my core. Obviously, Bridgman is the favorite of this group. You guys really touched on a lot of the big names here, Kim as well. But as far as lineup construction goes, are you guys, Bryce, in your 150 builds? Are you leaving any? Are you leaving a ton of people out here? How tight are we going with the? We're going 60 golfers. How many golfers are you putting in?
I have 51.
51 in the group. Did you kind of make that delineation, or I should never try to use big words, but did you make that cut yourself, or was it just kind of what?
There's a couple of guys that I was getting a few percent of that I didn't really like Spieth, Noren, Rye type of guys that I left out. Cheapest guy I played was Velmaki.
I like Velmaki here as well. How about you, Schneider? What are you thinking as far as how many golfers do we need in our pool?
It depends on how much I get of Scotty. If I don't get as much of him, I think I can play less, but I'll probably be right around 40 to 45 because I do want to play some Scotty. Some of those builds are definitely interesting. You're going to need a couple of those 9K guys or a couple of those 6K guys to probably finish inside the top 20. But I also want to play some Rory, and then I want to play some more even build type lineups as well. So I'll probably be right around 40 to 45, I bet.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah, if you're going to go high with Scotty, you really have to open it up more to those guys down at the bottom and try to diversify a little bit. I think down there, if you're going to try to fade Scotty here, then maybe you go with a tighter build, tighter pool, maybe the 40 golfers like you're talking about. So I think that's pretty good advice there for you MME players out there. And even if you're playing 20, if you're going to go all in Scotty on a 20 max or something like that, then I think you really have to open it up to a lot of these guys down at the bottom if you're going to go with that strategy. So, I think that's pretty good. We kind of went through the entire field here, hopefully giving some advice. We got the pick 6. I know you guys like to do each week here on the show. So I don't know if you've got it fired up yet, Snyder, but we'll take a look at some pick 6 plays. And this time I'll remember it's only 2 of us, or it's 3 of us. So it's only 2 picks each. I'm used to doing the 3 each with my boy JBC when we do the show on Friday. So if you are ready and you've got a play, let's fire it up.
Yeah. So what? Last time on this pick 6, we had 5 out of 6, and we got screwed by my block. So yeah, hopefully we do a little bit better than 5-1 this go around.
It's
only round 1, right?
Again, it's only round 1. That's normally how the pick 6 stuff works. Yep. It's like a day thing.
It looks like it's only Pebble Beach players as well.
Well, Pebble Beach should be it makes sense. It should play a little easier than Spy, but it won't matter here if we only got the Pebble guys. So
yeah, I'm gonna go under 69.5 for Cam Young.
All right, we're going Cam Young under. Snyder, we got one.
I'm gonna go. Just a second, make it quick. I'm gonna go Russell Henley lower than 68.5. He's shot 65 or better in his last 4 round 1s.
Why is Rory 69.5? That seems kind of absurd.
Oh, I didn't even see him. Oh, they're down there.
Yeah.
He's starting at Spyglass, but still.
Well, they have the Spyglass playing harder than Pebble.
Mm-hmm.
I will usually play harder than.
Yeah, it's generally a little harder. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be why. Let's see. Although you could take the birdies. All right, let's see. We'll go with. I'm going to go with Siwoo. I'll take him to the under here. Siwoo Kim.
All right, my second pick. I'm going to take Lucas Glover over 70.5. I just want nothing to do with him this week. Stats. You're going to be on NASCAR show.
I will.
Well, we'll be at the race, but
I'll be at the race. I'm going to be at the race also, so I'll see you. You're going to be at the race?
Yeah.
I will be there.
We'll all be down there.
Yep.
I'm gonna go.
And I don't like Fox again. Just to answer that question, Bridgman we do like.
I'm gonna go Tony Finau more than 70.5 strokes.
You going with Finau?
Yeah. Yeah,
over?
He hasn't broke.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take an over as well. I'm gonna take Keegan's over 70.5.
All right, I like that.
I like that.
3 unders, 3 overs.
Yes. All right. What do we got? What's the recap on those?
All right. To recap that, we have Tony over 70.5. We have Lucas Glover over 70.5. Who else did we take? We took Siwoo under.
Under.
We took
Henley
Keegan over.
Henley under, and Keegan over.
Yep. Awesome. All right, guys. Any parting thoughts for the fans out there?
Let it rip this week. Really like the revamp no cut. So let's have at it this week.
Yeah, those guys will be down there at Daytona. We'll have all the stuff up on the side for Showdown and all that will be in the Discord as well. If you have any questions, hit us up. But looking forward to a couple of star-studded events back to back.
Yeah, this should be a good one. It's a really good field, and I'm looking forward to it as well. Kind of changing up the format here. I always love watching Pebble. Brings back a lot of good memories for me playing there. But and then Friday I'll be on the show with JBC doing our pick and winner show. We're going to be doing that every Friday at 1:00, and then Sunday morning I'll be doing the NASCAR. Someone asked about it. We will be doing NASCAR Sunday morning. I'll probably be doing it from the road as I'll be on the other side of the other coast here of Florida, checking out the race. So I will see Bryce. I guess I'll see you on Sunday at the races in Daytona.
Are you coming in? Are you coming in early? Earlier?
I will. I'm going to be. I'll talk to you Saturday night. I've got something going on out there. So, but I will. I'll discuss it with you.
All right, cool.
It's Valentine's Day. Are you coming with the? Are you coming with the missus?
I'm not coming with the missus. I'm bringing Wakey.
Oh, just as good. That's right. I forgot you coming with Wakey.
I'm bringing Wakey.
I love it.
No, she's staying here to take care of Mateo.
Awesome.
Can't really have anyone watch him for next week. He gets his bandage off Tuesday, so we're kind of free then. We're celebrating Valentine's Day tomorrow night.
Perfect. Always better not to do it on the actual day.
Celebrating it on the actual day is such a huge fish move.
Oh.
And
a Saturday
do Friday. Some people do Friday too, and that's still like a huge fish move. I think. I think Thursday, because you got to do it before. Right?
That's what I was going to say. You can't do it after because it's
Thursday is the day this year. Anyone who's not celebrating it on Thursday, and I'm talking about like going out, doing like a nice dinner and stuff. Right. Like if you're just at home, you can do it on the day off. But no, huge fish move not to do it Thursday.
Couldn't agree more. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Hopefully, listen, that's our first NASCAR show of the week. We had the kind of the crappy the chase that was a mess, but
that was such a shit show race.
Daytona will be a mess too, but it'll be a much more fun mess.
That's a fun mess.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, for Snyder and for Schlong and for JBC as well, who hopefully everything's doing okay with him. I am Stats. This is the Golf Wars Show. We're Run Pure Sports. We'll see you next week, everybody.